Charles Soule and some of the Galaxy's best artists gather to celebrate Soule's 100th Star Wars book with a set of stories from the time of the Republic, the time of the First Order, and everywhere in between. Charles Soule celebrates his 100th Star Wars issue with a fantastic anthology issue that explores everyone's favourite eras of Star Wars, showcasing the variety the galaxy far, far away has in its stories, while also loosely connecting them all with a central theme of lessons that people have learned from others. Soule writes all of these characters so well and gives them all a unique voice, and in the case of the sequel trilogy, characters like Kylo Ren and Poe Dameron actually develops their characters into something worth actually caring about. The book also has ties to a lot of things we've seen in recent Star Wars TV shows, like Obi-Wan Kenobi giving Anakin another lightsaber training lesson and teaching him why the Jedi are the way they are and why they use the weapon they use, while also even having Kylo getting to revisit Luke's first Jedi temple on Ossus, which we first saw in the Book of Boba Fett, where we saw it being built, so here it's only fitting we get to see it being utterly obliterated. The story that really stuck to me, however, was Poe Dameron's. Soule wrote Poe for over 20 issues of his own solo series, and his story felt like it never ended here, and that this was the final piece of his story that he wanted to tell. And it was a great finale to his book and to this book as well, capping off a grim moment for Black Squadron with a real spark of hope for the future, which I really hope is soul teasing a new Poe Dameron book or a sequel trilogy book featuring Poe coming soon, and hopefully there is something like that coming soon as well, since we don't have a lot of sequel trilogy stuff happening right now. Ramon Rosanas, Giuseppe Camoncoli, Will Sliney, and Phil Noto all lend their immense talents to the issue, complementing each other's styles really well, while also giving each era-specific story its own distinct look. I thoroughly enjoyed Phil's returning to the Poe storyline, being that he drew the entire series for Soule, and his warm, orange-hued artwork reflected the feeling and spark of hope that Poe finds while eulogizing his dead friends. Star Wars issue 25 was a fantastic celebration of all eras of Star Wars by the writers and artists who have helped define it over the last few years while at Marvel, delivering some fun stories with some of our favourite characters. I'm going to give this issue a 10 out of 10. Star Wars issue 25 heads to the Jedi Temple, where Obi-Wan Kenobi and his Padawan Anakin Skywalker begin to spar. Anakin asks why the Jedi use lightsabers as their weapon of choice and nothing else, since while they are incredible weapons, they could be others as well. Obi-Wan wants to know what he's thinking about, so Anakin says that the sabers are powered by Kyber crystals, so why not use those Kyber crystals to have Kyber spears or Kyber blasters, having some ideas of his own. Obi-Wan thinks that it would be some weapon no one's ever seen before and something that would help set him apart from the other Padawans. Anakin knows that it would be something for the Order to make them more powerful. Obi-Wan pulls Anakin's saber from his hand, swirling it around his body with his own as he tells Anakin that he had the same idea when he was a Padawan, coming up with two short-bladed sabers attached to a thin chain. And while it was amazing and looked impressive, that was just assuming he didn't cut off his foot with it. He remembers suggesting it to Qui-Gon Jinn, and he told him what he's about to tell Anakin. Obi-Wan explains that it's about how they wish to be seen, and that ties into the central mission of the Jedi Order, not wanting to be powerful but still stand tall against the dark. He floats Anakin's saber into the air, activating it and telling him that their tools reflect their goals, especially weapons, and they all wield the same one, albeit with minor variations, and while they could make bombs or blasters from Kyber, and it's been tried before, with plans being in the archives, anyone can fire a blaster, but very few can skillfully and safely wield a lightsaber, and everyone in the galaxy knows this to be true, and they want their opponents to know that they use a weapon that requires intention, training, precision, and choice, since the lightsaber symbolizes the care with which a Jedi approaches their gifts through the Force, and the care in which a Jedi takes to wield those gifts. He gives the saber back to Anakin, telling him that it reminds them that while the Jedi could do more, they purposely don't. Obi-Wan says that they chose a weapon with limitations and difficulties, since every death or injury it inflicts must be precisely chosen by its wielder, and the lightsaber tells the galaxy that the Jedi are protectors, not destroyers. Anakin says that the Sith use the lightsabers as well, but Obi-Wan thinks that they would give Anakin many a reason why they use it, but he believes that they chose the weapons since they think they are better than the Jedi and can do everything they do better, including wielding a lightsaber. Obi-Wan ignites his saber, saying that the Sith are wrong about that as he asks his Padawan if he is ready to continue his training. Decades later, Emperor Palpatine orders Darth Vader to fight him, so Vader does, meeting his master's blade with his own, but Palpatine is able to easily best the Dark Lord, force pushing him down and telling him he fights like a Jedi and that like the saber is his only weapon, but it's not, since the dark side of the Force touches everything and the saber is merely a symbol. Palpatine throws rubble at Darth Vader, smashing against him with it as he says that the saber is a flame signifying the great blaze of the dark side and it's an inferno that consumes all who come against it. He points the blade at Vader, who begins using the Force to levitate his own weapon, telling his master he understands. Sometime after the Battle of Crate, Supreme Leader Kylo Ren demands his shuttle be prepared as he intends on returning to the salt-covered planet. Ren leaves the shuttle and returns to the place he fought his uncle, becoming enraged and lashing out against the salt flat with his saber. Later on, he heads to Elfrona and to the former Jedi outpost there, telling the Knight of Ren Vikrul that he is searching for ghosts. Vikrul knows that this is where he and the Knights of Ren first met Ben and Luke, not sensing any ghosts there. Kylo thinks that the only ghosts there are Vikrul's pride lingering, since this is where Kylo first beat him in combat. Kylo leaves the empty tomb, heading to Ossus and to the first ever Jedi temple Luke Skywalker made, calling out to the ghost of Luke, knowing that he is watching him. Kylo begins smashing up the already destroyed buildings, demanding the coward show himself so he can get the reckoning he deserves. Luke doesn't answer as he calls Luke a fool, heading back to his ship and telling General Hux that they are to bombard the area with all batteries from orbit. Hux goes to question him, but Kylo demands he follow orders as Hux asks if he's going to watch, but Kylo says why would he, since there is nothing there. A few years later, during the Battle of Exegol, Snap Wexley is killed in action, and in the aftermath, Poe Dameron and the rest of Black Squadron share a drink in not just Snap's honor, but also Lulo and Odie's as well. Poe, however, says today they are honoring Snap as Care, Snap's wife, mourns the death of her husband. Poe knows that it's hard to feel the way they are with everyone else celebrating their win for the galaxy, and Snap was a big part of why they won, but not just won this battle, but also the Battle of Jakku that ended the Empire, and now the one on Exegol that ended the First Order, and in between those battles, Snap Wexley fought hundreds more, always right there doing whatever needed to be done, and when you are flying through hell, nothing matters more than knowing the pilot on your wing has your back, and with Snap, it was never a question, and he was always there for them. Poe raises his glass to Snap as Care says that it's hard to think of being alone again, especially when you found the one person who never makes you feel alone no matter how far away they are. Suralinda knows that she isn't alone, but Care doesn't think it's the same, and pretending it is lessens what Snap meant to her. Jessica says that Snap rigged her tests to show that she could become a pilot since she didn't score high enough on the live fire tests, but he knew that she would get there with some extra time and focus, and he gave her that, and if it wasn't for that, she wouldn't have done the things she has done. Jessica says that she never told anyone that before now, as Suralinda says that while she didn't know Snap for as long as everyone else, she was a reporter before the war and was trained to observe people, and for Snap, his laugh, generosity, ingenuity, and bravery were what encapsulated him. She knows that she could write a 10,000 word piece on the life of Snap Wexley, but she knows she only needs 5, calling him a good man. Care shows that she has the codes for Mr. Bones, the droid Snap built that Poe remembers saved him from Terex that one time, finding it to be amazing that he built that. Care agrees as she tosses the codes into the fire so Mr. Bones can be with his master. Poe is soon told by an officer that he has some after-action reports he needs to look at, but tells the officer it can wait, telling the gathered pilots that maybe they will fly together again or maybe their fighting days are done. But whatever happens, they have to stop remembering who they were and are. He raises his glass to Snap Wexley again and to Black Squadron this time, and all of the stories they told and the stories yet to come.